Hello, everyone. This is Jen with Jen's Den Art. It is so good to be here with you today. Please come in and say hello when you get here. I am super excited to be here with you today. Let's see if we have some people coming on and if I am actually live. Yes, I am working. Hi, I'm so glad you're here today. Hi, Michael. Hi, Carol. Hello, and welcome to Jen's Den. It has been a good minute since I have come live on my public page. So I'm so excited to be here today and chat with all of you. Hello, Miss Jean. Hi, Miss Ellen. Come on in. I am streaming live in two areas. And what I'm going to do is also, I'm live on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and I'm also live on my public page, Facebook page, Jen's Den Art. And what I'm going to do right now is share this video in a number of my different groups that I have in case you missed it. Snowy Pines. Okay, I think that is good. Yeah, I was looking for the acrylic 101. So what we're going to do today is, there we go. That's the one I was looking for. What we're going to do today is a number of different things. This is probably going to be a little over an hour today. And what I want to do is I want to share with you. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Wendy. Thank you for coming on YouTube. Hi, Linda and Miss Elaine. Snow in Alabama. Oh, yay. You see, I have on long sleeves. We're still in like the 40s here. No snow, but we do have rain and nasty, muddy weather. The poor dogs, when they go outside, they come back in and my floor is just mud. I have to sweep and mop it every day. So what we're going to do today is just to give you an update on Jen's Den Art for 2025. We are focusing on different areas every month in my membership. And in those months, I'm going to see if I put it in here. I did not put it in here. January is still life. So in January, our entire focus is on still life. Although we are still learning other things, still life is the main focus. So just to give you an idea of, what did I do with my other, here it is, where we started. Our first painting of the month was a still life painting of tangerines. And we do 4 paintings a month in our VIP group. Okay, actually, you get more than 4 paintings a month in the VIP group because today is a bonus painting. Today is going to be another still life, which is a decanter. And we're actually going to paint that today. So I don't want to waste a lot of time because I have a lot of information to share with you. If you are only a temporary subscriber and you just watch my public videos, you have access to this for a week. If you are a Jen's Den VIP member, all of this information is going to be added to our membership online classroom where you have access to all of the videos as long as you're a member. So what I want to do today is I'm going to do a little lesson on still life, what it is, how to set. You can see here is my decanter that I painted. I set up my own real still life, okay, which is a challenge. And we'll talk about that. And then we're going to paint. We're actually going to paint this decanter together. And you are going to learn some painting techniques from me as well. This is on an 8x10. Okay, this is on an 8x10. That's what I painted it on. And I will drop the, I don't have a template. There is no template at this point, but I will make a template and I will add it to this video where you can download it. Okay, I just don't have it at this point. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to share another screen with you and we're going to talk about still life together. And so this is basically just a little lesson. There's like 9 or 10 slides that we're going to talk about. And I am going to try to do my best to explain to you what still life is all about and how important it is. And it's just it's the best area to start if you are a new painter, because there are so many components of still life that you probably didn't even realize exist. So here's a couple of things we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about how to create a good composition, okay, creating a compelling composition. And by composition, we're talking about, I know if you've been following me a while for my Acrylic 101 course, we talk about the thirds rule, how the placement of items on your painting are very important, and that deals all with composition. So a lot of these components, they overlap one another. They're not just objectives that would be true for just still life. It's actually for almost all of your paintings out there. You still deal with always focusing on composition. So all of these things they overlap one another, but we can find some specifics in still life that are just a little more they're just going to help you master the concept a little bit more. Hello, Debbie. Hi, Carol. Hey, Mary. Hi, Miss Barbara. So glad you are all here. Hello, Wendy from Texas. Yeah, my sister's in Texas, and she showed me the snow. She's in North Dallas. Okay, so we're also going to understand and utilize light and shadow to help us get depth. So I hope you saw that in this painting here, the light and the shadow, and we're going to talk about that a lot today. Balance, okay, how to balance your painting. Okay, there's a fine line in balance there. Like we don't mean exactly balance, like the same exact amount on both sides. That is not what we mean by balance. Okay, so we're going to talk about that as well. Refining your drawing skills. Okay, yes, you can draw. And getting your colors right, your accuracy of colors to create something that is very visually engaging. Okay, we're not trying to recreate a photograph. We're trying to create a painting. So there is a huge difference between a photograph and a painting. If you want to paint to look like a photograph, in my opinion, just take the picture. Just take the picture, and then there you go. You have the photograph, and that's what you wanted. But if you want it to look like a painting, this is where you come. Okay, this is where you come. We have a lot to learn in that area. And then we're going to paint a still life. Okay, we're actually going to paint the still life. So, of course, this is me. I am Ginger LaCour. I have 25 years of professional teaching experience. I was a professional high school math and PE teacher. I was a coach. I was an instructional coordinator. I was a lot of other things in the public school system of Louisiana. And then about 8 years ago, I retired from education and I started my own business in art. And here I am. So what exactly is still life? Still life describes a work of art that shows inanimate objects from the natural or man-made world, such as fruit, flowers, dead game. I know it's kind of weird to say dead game, but there's a lot of artists out there that are popular in the olden days that they actually did. They painted a lot of dead game. Vessels like baskets or bowls or things like that. And we'll look at all kind of different examples of that. Okay. It goes way back in art history. You can find it in ancient Egyptian tombs. It's one of the most popular and one of the first types of painting that really took off in the Netherlands in the 17th century. So it really has a lot of history in it, and it's super fun to look back at some of the examples. I'm going to blow this up so you can see it better. Okay, here's some painters that used still life in their paintings that are very popular paintings. Jacob van Es, Paul, when I was looking this up, Paul Cézanne, I don't know how to say that. His still life paintings showed up the most. He seems to be a really, really popular artist in still life. Paul Cézanne, he's got beautiful paintings. And Henry Fantine Latour are some of the most popular still life painters out there. You can see how they use like all these different objects out there to create their still life. And some of the things we're going to notice in these photographs is how to set up your still life if you wanted to actually use a setup for, let me see if I can get my face back in the screen. There we go. If you actually wanted to physically set up your own still life in real life, in person, okay? Whenever this is a new component for me as an artist. I've been painting for 8 years, but this is a new component that I'm actually spending more time on now this year, and that is painting more from the actual real life instead of painting from a photograph. And January is our first month of me doing that. They also call that plein air. If you're painting plein air, you're going outside and you're painting from a landscape that's in real life. All of those kind of things are another level up in your painting journey. And it's kind of like, if you think about your levels of painting, you start off with like kind of, your little paint and sip parties. Then you go into painting from a photograph. Okay. Then you go into painting from an actual real life object or scenery. And those are kind of the levels that you should want to travel in if you want to expand your art journey and get into more of that fine art area, which is what I really strive to do. So some of the things you would want to do for your materials, if you wanted to set up your own still life, you want to have some types of objects. You can see right here, I rated my kitchen yesterday when I was working on all of this. I have bananas. I have an avocado. I had an orange, but I ate the orange because I was hungry. So you want to have some type of surface to actually put your still life on, a table, a platform, something like that. You want to have a background, which is actually optional. You don't have to have a background. You can just make up your own background and paint it whatever you want. Okay, you can use fabric, you can use boards, you can use paper, anything like that you want. And then some type of light source. We're going to talk about using natural light and a single lamp for your light source. So those are the things that you would need. Here are a couple of things to take in mind when you're setting up a still life. One, you either want a dark background with a light object. Okay, so the one on the left is an example of a dark background with light objects, or you want a light background with darker objects. So the one on the right, the wine glass and the grapes and all, those are all really dark objects, but notice that they put a light in the background to help it. And basically it's all about contrast. It's all about lights and darks, lights and darks, lights and darks. I can't tell you how important lights and darks are in all of your paintings that you do. Okay, here's a couple of other examples of still life that are really interesting and really create interest. Okay, the one on the left is food. Okay, I love to paint food. I don't paint enough of it, but I think it's super fun to paint food. So notice that the strawberries, the blueberries, the raspberries, they're all moving in the photograph. Notice what your eyes do when you look at that photograph. Okay, my eyes, I see the strawberry, then I go to the raspberry, then I go to the blueberries. Like my eyes move through the whole thing, and that's what you want. You want your eyes to move. You want to have a variety of subjects where almost like a triangle, okay? I see it as kind of like you're making like a triangle, okay? Look at the coffee cup, okay? It's not just a coffee cup. There's a couple of really specific lines with this coffee cup. Look at the background. It's a piece of wood that has horizontal lines through it, okay? So you have those lines. Whenever you have lines in something, it makes your eyes move through those lines. Okay, not only that, notice that you have a napkin. You have a napkin that cuts at an angle behind the cup. Okay, that is another line. So you've got a horizontal line and you've got kind of like a diagonal line, and then you've got another diagonal line coming down. You've got the spoon. You've got a few little coffee grinds there, or coffee beans, I should say. And so you have objects that make your eyes move through the actual still life. Okay, you want your eyes to move. So those are just some really, really good eye magnets. Keep us in the picture. Yes, that is exactly right. So another thing is to overlap to avoid tangents. So what I mean by overlap to avoid tangents, first of all, you have to know what a tangent is. A tangent is when two things touch each other without overlapping. They just touch at a point. Okay, so at the top right, the square, the circle, and the rectangle, they are all touching at points and they're lined up perfectly. Okay, that's a tangent. That is not a good example of how to set up a still life. You want to create different levels to keep the eyes moving. You want to overlap. So look at the second example with the square, the rectangle, and the circle. You want to have different sized objects, and you also want to have some of them in the back, some of them in the front where they lay over each other. Okay, and then some of them a little higher back or further back than the ones in the front. So those are just all things. This is a perfect example. There's a lot of stuff going on in this photo. This photo would probably take me about 6 to 8 hours to paint if I were to paint something having this much stuff in it. But it's a perfect example of a beautiful still life that would make a beautiful painting. So those are just some things to keep in mind here. All right, so we are actually going to practice, and there's a couple of other things that I want to show you before we go on and practice. Here are some samples of still lifes that we have done in our membership so far. Okay, we just did the tangerines, like I told you. We had so much fun with this one. This was a Christmas boot that we did this past maybe November or December. We painted a row of succulents, which was super fun. We painted this truck here. Here is one of my favorite still lifes. Okay, it is just a fall scene with canning items. I have a few fall scenes. I really like fall still life. I don't know why. Okay, here is a cornucopia that we painted, and then here's a vintage still life that I did with pumpkins and cotton and things like that. So those are just some examples of some still lifes that we have done in the past. We have a lot more, but I just brought up a few of them. So here was my practice on setting up my own still life. These are actual examples of me taking my banana that I just showed you and using different backgrounds to set up a photograph for a still life. The four at the top were just samples of me trying and having a really hard time trying to get the lighting right. Okay, so I just wanted to show you, if you notice all of the four top ones, first of all, the item is not placed in a good spot. Okay, the banana is not placed in a good spot. The line between the background and the table is off-centered. Of course, you can change that with editing your photos anytime you want. And it's not pleasing to the eye. Any of the top four are not pleasing to the eye. The bottom four get a lot better. Okay, they get a lot better. The bottom, I'm not saying that they're great, but I'm saying that I would actually probably paint one or two of these and have a decent painting come out of it. Especially the bottom left two. Okay, one of the things I noticed that I like about the banana on the bottom left is the line of the cloth is high up. It's kind of like at your third mark. Okay, it's one of the thirds. The two oranges, the line is kind of like right in the center of the photo, and that's not really good to have a line right there in the center. Something else I noticed, that the one all the way to the left, the banana, kind of, again, has a great composition. It draws your eyes into that line of the banana, but not only the line of the banana, the crease in the cloth. You see the crease in the cloth has a line going through it as well. Okay, so it's got pretty decent lines in it. And not only are the lines decent, but the shadows are pretty decent as well. Okay, so look at the shadows. Look at the shadows on the oranges. And then the top four, you don't even hardly see a shadow anywhere. Okay, so those are things that help make a painting better. Now, this is where I had a lot of fun because this has a lot of variety in it. I took my husband's decanter, which this is what we're going to paint, and I played around with different backgrounds. I played around with different lighting, and these were super fun. The top four, you could see that the shading was very difficult. I wasn't getting a good shading at all. There was no shading coming out in the different photographs that I was taking. And of course, the pictures were just totally off. But the bottom four, I got a lot better. Y'all, I took 85 photographs. Just so you know, I took 85 photographs and I narrowed it down to one that I wanted to paint. So you can't just take one picture and expect to be done. You have to take a bunch of pictures, or don't even take a picture and just use the actual real item in front of you to be able to paint from. Okay, so the bottom right was kind of like where I ended up focusing on, and I'll show you. I narrowed it down. Here's some other ones that I took as well. I was getting better. Okay, these are the last photographs that I took, and I was like, okay, I'm getting better. I see some shading. I see some shadows. I see some reflections that would be fun to paint. And so I was getting a lot better in all of my photographs, and this is what I narrowed it down to. Okay, this is what I narrowed it down to, and I said, I know I want to paint one of these two. And the one on the left won because the contrast inside the bourbon decanter had a great dark value, and the contrast on the left of the decanter was super light, and on the right of the decanter was super dark. And so it gave me that light, dark, light composition and value change that I really wanted. And so I was like, okay, this is it. This is the one that's going to be the most fun to paint because I'm going to be able to work on values. I'm going to be able to work on composition. I'm going to be able to work on my values, which is my dark and light, and all of my different colors. Also, the one on the left, I saw some really fun colors come out on that one. The one on the right was just as promising, because the background is super, super dark, and you've got that really light top of the decanter. And then you've got the dark bourbon with the light background, that sheet underneath. Now the sheet has a lot of wrinkles in it. I wouldn't paint all of those wrinkles. That's just a placement. Okay, I would do something just kind of plain with the cream color. But also what was fun about the one on the right, which maybe I'll paint it one day, look at that reflection on the sheet. It's almost bluish purple, orange. Like, it has some really fun colors in it that I think you could have a lot of fun with in a painting, and you could explore different options for that. So I thought that was super fun to use. And so, of course, the winner is, I will show you this one here. The winner was this one right here, which has the blue. You can see the shading. This side is really dark. This side's really light. And it took me about 3 hours to set it all up, to play around with the lighting. And I used natural light from outside for the most part. However, our weather is like, there's no sun. Okay, so it was really difficult for me to get a really good lighting. One of the things that I learned is turn off all of your other lights. I'm going to show you right now. Okay, and you still can't see it because I have another light on right here. I'm going to turn that off as well, just so you can see what I'm talking about. So Look at that. When you turn off all of your lights in your room and you just have the natural light, this is my window right here. You just have the natural light. You can already see, look at all of the shadows that you can see in your piece here. If you bring it a little closer to the back, let me bring it this way a little bit. Okay, you can see all of the different shadows that you're creating, even back here. And it really makes for a fun experiment to be able to do those kind of things. So yeah, I hope you learned something from this, and I would love to know in the comments. I'm going to turn my lights back on. In the comments, I would love to know if you have learned anything. And in my membership, our challenge this month for our members is to set up your own still life. Use whatever you want and set up your own still life, just as similar, just something simple like this, and take a picture of it and paint it and let us see what you come up with. Okay, so yeah, set up with a hunting light on a tripod. That's a great idea, Melanie. I have a ton of different lights that I tried, and everyone has a little bit of a different, some of them are stronger lights, some of them are dimmer. So it really depends on what you want, but that's a great idea. Yes, so happy birthday. Somebody's birthday is today. I see all the comments, so happy birthday. I'm looking to see. And what did you learn? You learned about the light. Michael said, yes, I've learned a lot about looking for lights and darks. That's the key, Miss Jackie. It's the key. It is the key to everything to make a painting. Oh, okay, good, Miss Jean. I'm glad. Great advice. Great. All right. Snowing in Alabama. Yes, it's snowing in a lot of places right now. Okay, so I'm ready to paint. I hope you're ready to paint. I am going to show you this demo now, and I cannot wait for you to try to paint this and have fun with it. All right, guys, the first thing I'm going to do is cover my canvas. I'm using an 8x10 canvas here. I'm going to cover my canvas with this quinacridone nickel azo gold. It's just kind of like a really, really bright burnt sienna, kind of like an orange. And I really love it as a platform for my paintings. It's just a personal preference. Instead of starting on a white canvas, it gives you an opportunity to add some really cool undertones in your painting when you do something like this. So I love using an underpainting, and most of the time my underpaintings are orange, like a bright color, either a bright orange, a bright red, a bright pink, something like that. Okay, so that is all I'm going to use there. Okay, I have my still life set up for me right here, and I also have the photograph that you see. The photograph that you see is the same exact thing that I am using to look at visually. So we will kind of actually use both, since you have the photograph in your vision. And I'm going to clean that paintbrush off, and I'm going to change paintbrushes. Let's see. I'm going to grab a small, let me see where I need to go paintbrush shopping. I know y'all think I'm crazy, but I do. I need to go paintbrush shopping. I think I'm going to do a blick order this week for new paintbrushes. Okay, so I'm just going to use a large paintbrush with like a liner, a pointed paintbrush, and I'm going to start sketching this out. I'm using an 8x10 canvas, and you can see that the first thing I want to do is I'm going to sketch out my decanter. So I'm looking at the top. The top of it comes about up here. This is gonna be a totally rough sketch, but I'm just gonna follow some lines here. I've got one line there. This is really wet, but that's all right. We're gonna make it work. All right, I'm just drawing out the top part. Very loose. I'm going to come down a little bit more with this top. All right. And then we've got the round. I'm going to pay attention to where the round starts and where it ends on the two sides. It's about this wide. And then it goes down about right here. So I'm just going to make like an oval. Okay, then off of there, I'm gonna come down with my curve. All right, so let's get these outside curves, or the outside edges of the decanter. So I'm gonna go straight down and then at an angle. There, and then this one comes this way. And it may not be the same exact size. I might be a little off with my design, but that's okay. This is gonna come further down. That doesn't belong there. This is gonna come here, and then just a little bit off of there. And not straight down, it makes a little bit of an angle in right there. And then this line is coming across. Okay, that's a fairly decent sketch. This is a little wider than I want it to be, so I'm going to come a little bit more this way. It's still a little wide. Maybe I'll make this come up a little bit. And don't go out quite so much. Let's bring this in just a little. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is this is all gonna be background. All of this is gonna be background. And my background I'm gonna start with now. I'm gonna take phthalo blue and what are my colors? Phthalo blue, chromium oxide green, cadmium yellow light, burnt sienna, burnt umber, Mars black, and titanium white. And I think that is it. I think that's all my colors. That's the colors that I've chosen to start with, and then we will see as we go. Now this is still wet, so my background's gonna be nice and moist here. And that's okay, because we're gonna fix it as we go. But we're just gonna start bringing in. I'm using phthalo blue, and I have a lot of water on my paintbrush. That's why you're seeing so much movement in the colors. And the quinacridone is still moist underneath. which I probably should have let that dry. I'm going to grab some more phthalo blue, and I'm going to grab some black because I want to calm it down a little bit, and I'm going to grab a little bit of white and just a little bit of that green. I want to make kind of like a dark turquoise, but I want it to be dark. I want it to be something almost like a navy. So I'm going to work my way towards a navy type background. I know the photograph does not show navy, but I want, especially on this side, I want this side to be a lot darker. You can see the light contrast here. So you can see from the videos that I showed you earlier, let's go ahead and make some more phthalo blue over here. Phthalo blue, green, and let's go with white first. Okay, so I haven't established my my actual area where my table is. So we'll establish that in just a minute. So here we go. I'm going phthalo blue, cobalt green, what is the green? Chromium oxide green. You can use any green. Just some kind of green, some kind of blue to make kind of like a turquoise. But I don't want it to be too turquoisey. I want to have a little bit of darkness in it. So I'm using a little bit of black as well to kind of blend in with that, to give it a little bit more of like a navy tone. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and establish where our the end of our table is. So the end of our table, you can see, is kind of like at an angle, and I'm going to mark that. Let's see, we're going to go right about here, and let's make that the same on this side. So that looks like where we're going to be. So in order to get that contrast that we want, we have to make sure that we use a variety of colors in this area, some lights and some darks. So I'm going to go with, you've got a little bit of lightness you can see in here. There's a little bit of lightness coming through. So I'm going to add a little bit more white in here. Use a large paintbrush. Large paintbrushes always work better. And so this lightness is going to stay pretty similar to what it was right above. And so I'm going to bring that down there. Just keep it real loose. Okay, so I got that light color on this side, and then it shades over to a darker color. And then down here, we're going to have some work to do as we're working. Down here, you can see right in the back side at the end of the table, it's a lot lighter right in here. So I'm going to bring that out. And then right in front of it is the shadow. And I'm going to have to get some more water on my paintbrush and get that darker color. And we'll work on that as we go. Right now, we're not really concerned that much with all of the shading, but we're just bringing in all of those, that first layer, we're just blocking everything in. Okay, let's get some more phthalo blue. Phthalo blue is very, very, very strong. So you don't need a lot of it at all for the color that you're trying to create. Okay. And this, I'm going to make this background have a little variety so that it's not all solid greenish blue. Okay, so we're gonna add, I'm gonna add just a little bit of yellow and get that tone just a little bit different. Okay, I want these two colors to be different. I don't want them to be the same. I know that in the photograph, you can pretty much tell like they're almost the same exact color, but when you're working on your own without the photograph, you can do whatever you want. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on the top is gonna be a little bit more of a greenish tone, and the bottom is gonna be a little bit more of a bluish tone. Okay, and the top is also going to be a little bit little bit darker in some areas. So we'll just have fun with that as we go. And don't be afraid to try different things if you don't like the way it's coming out. Just change it a little bit. I'm gonna grab some black and mix in there. Let's grab some more green. And that's a little bit too light, so I'm gonna grab some more black. Okay. So just have fun. Now let's grab a little bit of phthalo blue. Let's just bring it around. Try different things. Don't be afraid. When we paint in my memberships, our paintings usually take anywhere from 1 hour to 3 hours, depending on what it is we're painting. But like, I was watching somebody the other day, because I follow artists as well, and it took them 7 hours to paint a still life like this. You know, so those are paintings that, of course, are not as or very much more in depth than what I would show you in my my painting lessons. But it's kind of like once you get the gist of it, then you can take a lot of the aspects of the learning process, all of the techniques, and you can take them on your own and apply them to your painting. And yes, the same painting that I painted that may have taken me an hour and a half to make a video of, it can very easily take you 2 or 3 hours to paint it, because you take your time and you stop the video and you're like, okay, I'm gonna really work on this one technique that she just taught me, and I'm gonna play with it and I'm gonna make it work for me. And however long it takes for it to work for me, that's just what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna pause the video and then I'm gonna go there. Now you can already see that we have a beautiful shadow happening here with the decanter against this wall, and that is the key to making this painting work. I do not want to do that. I'm gonna try to blend this together a little bit better. It's a little rough for me, so I'm gonna make kind of like a medium tone. Let's see if we can, yeah, that's better. Okay, that's about all I wanted to do. A little bit of a medium tone right there. Okay, so we're gonna stop with the background for now because I'm really excited about it. I might go a little bit brighter. We'll see as we go, because you know, when you take my classes, you learn that contrast is the key. Contrast is the key to everything that we do. Contrast is the key. All right, so now I'm just gonna take an angle brush, and I'm gonna start focusing on different shades of the glass. Okay, so at the top, I'm gonna start at the top, and at the top, you can see glass, you can see light, but you can also see, you have to look at shapes. You have to look at shapes. And there's one color that's standing out to me that I do not have access to. So hang on, I'm gonna grab some access to that. And what I'm grabbing is quinacridone red, which is kind of like just a regular red. Let me grab this too. Quinacridone red. Hang on, guys. I'm getting my. Let me get my. I'll show you the color. This is the color quinacridone red, and I'm going to put it over here, and ultramarine blue. And this is going to make kind of like a purple for me. You don't need much at all. And so what I'm going to do with these colors, you can see in this painting, I'm going to mix the red and the blue together. You can see in this painting there's a hint of a purple hue with the reflection of the glass on that background. So I'm going to make it a little bit more of a periwinkle, but basically I'm going to make it more blue than red, but I am going to mix those colors together. And I'm just going to start up here really, really soft, and I'm going to bring some of these colors out just by bringing that purple in there. I'm just kind of filling in some of the bright colors that you can see. And I'm going to continue that a little bit further down here with that purple. And if I look at the rest of the painting, I don't really see a lot of that purple coming through, but we can always add it later if we feel like we need it. I'm going to clean that off, and I'm going to go back to more of the turquoise color, which is my phthalo blue, my white, and my green. And I'm going to make a really light phthalo blue. I'm going to add some more white to it. And you can kind of see those shades in here as well. See how pretty that is? So I'm just kind of tapping around. I'm not making any kind of shape or anything like that. I'm just tapping around and just adding this color to that area up there. Also right in here we've got a little bit of a darker blue. You can see that coming through. So I added a little bit of black to my colors and bringing in all of these different shades. And I'm going to switch paintbrushes. I don't like the angle brush for this, so I'm going to switch paintbrushes, and I'm going to go to a flat brush. And this is what I'm going to use, okay? This is a 3/8 inch flat brush. And I am going to allow myself, I'm going back in the purple, I'm going to allow myself here to make a little bit of a darker purple, get a little bit darker, and almost a blue. It's really more of a blue, but it's okay if it's purple because we like to play around with different shades. Now there's a lot of movement up at the top right here. I'm going to take some white and I'm going to mix on my paintbrush, and I'm just going to kind of outline where I know I want the top to be. So I'm going to zoom in just a tad for y'all to see that. See how pretty that is? And this area here is all going to be the top. So I'm just outlining that area. Let's come out some. And then right here we've got some white. And then all of this has all of that sparkly white all the way around it. So I'm gonna make that come to the front. And you can see that all of that is gonna glow. So I'm gonna add some more of that white in here. Don't be afraid, it's just paint. You can always paint back over it if you don't like it. Okay. And coming down here, we've got a lot of whites in there. Okay, and then I am going to continue on this same journey, and I'm going to go back into the blue again, and I'm just going to work my way down. You can see that right here. I've got some more of that blue shining through. It's very little. There's more white than anything else, but you can see all of those different shades. So we're looking at a shape. There's a shape right here that looks almost a really dark color, and it's just kind of like a line going down right there. And then there's another line kind of going down right here that's really dark. Okay, so you see how I'm just using the shapes to get everything in that I want to get in. All right, and then on this side, we're just gonna start with white. I know you can see some yellow in here and some orange, and we're gonna make that come out, but just not yet. All right, this is gonna be white. This is gonna be so much fun. Y'all are gonna have so much fun with this one. And then we've got all of these different blues in here. Just gonna start moving them around a little bit. We've got some right here. Very little in different areas. See how all of that's coming together? We have a little bit up here as well. If you feel like you covered up and you don't have enough blue, then just go back and just kind of tap around and add some more. Okay, then we start leaving the blues. I'm going to clean that off. Don't really have too many blues anymore, but we do have kind of like some grays. So I'm going to grab the black and white. I'm going to mix those two together. And a little bit of the blue, not much, but mostly black and white with more white than anything. And I'm going to start coming in here and filling in some of these areas here with that kind of like that light gray color. A little bit more white will make it shine a little bit more. And get all those shades in there. Got a little bit coming down here. All on the edges. You've got that kind of like that light, it's kind of like a light gray. So I'm just going to start that process. This should probably come in a little bit more. We're going to make that come in some, and then we'll fix that in a minute. Okay, we've got all those shades down here as well with the bottom. Now remember, we're painting shapes. We are not painting the exact photo. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the photo and I'm finding, like right here, this is super, super white right here. There's like a really, really bright white area coming through. And so I'm just gonna bring that out. Even before I have anything else down here, I see those white areas, and so I'm gonna bring them in. Okay? And now we're gonna have fun with the actual bourbon. So we're going to use almost the same color that's down there. This is burnt sienna. Okay, and burnt sienna is very similar. I'll show you. See how similar the color is? It's very similar to the color that I already have down there. So I'm going to use burnt sienna and a little bit of burnt umber because I'm going to make the darkest dark first. And what I see is there is a line of where the bourbon is filled, which is, let's go a little bit higher. Right about there, right? Does that look about right? Right about there is where you can see the line, and then it comes to the side, right there. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I have some areas in here that are really dark, almost like chocolate brown, almost black. So I'm gonna start bringing in those really dark colors. Burnt umber, burnt sienna mixed together. A little bit of that dark color in here. And then even on the top, right there, really dark colors coming around. I probably need to go even darker than that, but I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. All right, let's go a little bit lighter. I'm going to take a little bit more of the burnt sienna and less burnt umber. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to it, just a little bit to start getting that orange tone. Okay, so I have, this is a little bit too dark, but that's okay. I'm going to go with it now. So I have some of these kind of like golden tones coming through in here. Right here. There's a lot of movement in all of these different areas because of the light reflection. So we don't want to have to follow the exact photo. We are just kind of recreating the shapes that's in there. I'm going to add some more yellow and a little bit more burnt sienna and a little bit more yellow. And I have those yellows kind of like poking through all over the place. I'm not at the final yellow yet, but I do see a bunch of little yellows poking through. And then I'm going to bring in some orange. The orange, I'm going to clean my paintbrush off. The orange is almost the same color as the background, but I'm just going to use quinacridone red and cadmium yellow light. And I'm going to make that orange again. And that's going to be a little more vibrant than the background orange. So add some more yellow to that. You can see this is a little bit more vibrant, a little bit brighter. I think I need to bring this down, the blue down, just a little bit more. These colors are just amazing to work with. They are really fun. Bright oranges in here. A little bit of that sparkle is happening right there. Right? Okay. And then let's take a break from that. Oh, that looks so good. And let's go back to the blues and the grays because I feel like we need to add another layer of that. So I'm going to grab some white and black and that phthalo blue, a lot of white, a lot more white. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to get a, that's pretty decent. Let's go ahead with this one. So right here, I see I have some dark blues that I want to bring back out. That might not be dark enough. I may have to go, let's try a little darker. Yeah, okay, that might work. That's a little bit more than I want, but that'll work better. Okay, so I have some darker blues in here as well. I'm gonna bring that down just a little bit further in there. That looks great. Let's bring some of those blues down here. We didn't really touch on the blues down here, so let's go fill in some of this. You see how I'm not really creating an actual you know, the exact photo. I'm just creating a bunch of shapes around everything, and then they're all, because this is an impressionistic painting, it's just all gonna work together. It's gonna work together and it's gonna be fabulous. So let's add some more white. I need to get a bunch of paint off of my paintbrush, and I need more white on my paintbrush. It's kind of what I'm going for. I want a little bit more white up in this area. This is kind of like a little foggy area on the side that I'm going to make just a little lighter. And I'm gonna make this a little lighter, come around. And this needs to be a lot lighter right in here. Look at that, how cute is that? Okay, so my line for my bourbon is right about there. So I'm using a blue, but I probably should be using the purple. Let me see if I can grab that purple. I think the purple will look better. So I'm gonna go back to the ultramarine blue and the white. Ultramarine blue and white, and a little bit of red, and it's kind of like a little purple. And I'm gonna bring that. You can't even really tell the difference, but it's okay. I want a little bit more of that purple in here. I'm gonna go back and kind of get a little more of that periwinkle color to come through, just because I like it so much and I want it to be a part of the painting. Not because it's super vibrant in the painting, but it just really makes a great statement in the painting. So why not bring it in? Even though maybe you're looking at it and saying, I don't see any purple in this painting at all. I do. I see little hints of purple in some of the areas. And so even though maybe some places I don't even see the purple, I'm going to add it to just balance everything out. Okay, so I really like that. I really like where this is going. And I'm gonna fix some things now. This is super cute. I need some more yellow. I have not done all of the yellow yet. So I'm gonna let this dry a little bit. I'm going to fix some of my boo-boos, like right here. I've got to fix this. This has gotta come, this has gotta go away. That line is too, so we need to go a little bit darker with that. I'm gonna grab some black. And I'm gonna just bring that, try to make that come back out. Put a little bit right there I could fill in. Okay, that looks good. I like that. I can go a little bit lighter in that area, which is not a bad idea. I'm going a little bit lighter, so I'm pulling some phthalo blue and white right in here. I want to go a little bit lighter, and that's working wonders. Look at that. Okay, let's go down some more with that. I have very little on my paintbrush. Let me see, I'm going to wet it just a teeny tiny bit. And there we go. Kind of like dry brushing. Getting all that in there. Perfect. You see how you can see this line right here? Let's make that line. That's a crooked line, isn't it? That you can really see, that's a little much. You can really see the different shades right there. Now that's what a painting is all about. When you start getting, you see how we're getting all of those shades in? All of those different shades. The shading is key. So right now I'm just coming back with a little bit of shading in there. See how that's working? I want to get right in there. There we go. A little bit more. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Let's make this a little brighter. I like that contrast that I'm getting right in here. This is too high. I'm starting to see like little bitty things. This is too high. Right here, I've got to fix this line. Now this is why some people, this is why some people, it will take them 8 hours to paint a painting like this, because of all of it. See these little things that I'm coming back and I'm fixing? Those are little things that are going to make or break your painting. I sometimes submit paintings to be reviewed to different places that I'm members, and they find the subtlest little things. I'm like, oh my gosh, I never saw that, you know. And those are the things that make or break. I'm trying to get this green, this dark green back. It's still too blue. I'm trying to get the green color. But the more you do those kind of things, the better you get at seeing those things. There we go. That's the color I wanted. Like that. All right. Still not perfect. But you see, those are the little things that will take you longer to complete. Okay. Cleaning that paintbrush off because I want to reuse it again. And I'm going to come back this time with the super bright yellows. So I'm just going to go into cadmium yellow light by itself. And I'm going to fill my flat paintbrush with cadmium yellow light. And I am going to use it raw, meaning that I'm not mixing it with anything for this round. Okay, I'm just going to put some little areas in here with the cadmium yellow. And I'm just looking around and I'm like, okay, I see some bright yellows over here. I see some bright yellows right here. We've even got some up here. We're just gonna tap them in. I'm not making anything, I'm just tapping in these colors. A little bit over here. Get those bright yellows to come through. See how that's just making it pop even more? I'm gonna bring in just a little bit. And that's from the lighting, y'all. That's just all from the lighting. The way that the lighting is hitting the whole decanter. All right, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. All right, now I'm going to go back into the burnt sienna. Even though I have yellow, I'm going to mix the burnt sienna with the yellow because I want to go dark. I want to go dark again. So burnt sienna, yellow, maybe a little bit of burnt umber, not much, because that burnt umber and that yellow, they don't always work that well together. Okay, I see a little bit of darkness in between right here. I'm going to bring a little bit of that in. Just get a little more movement in some of these little spots. Little more movement. Little darker. I want to go a little darker. A little bit darker in just some areas. I really believe in that dark to light, dark to light. You can get that dark to light going. You got it. That's the key to all of it. Don't be afraid to go super dark and super light. Got a little bit of that color up here. Just a little bit. Even have a little bit of it coming off of the table because of the light. So I'm using yellow. I should probably, let's go ahead and grab some white. I did not clean my paintbrush, I just grabbed some white, and I'm gonna pull just a little bit of that. There we go, look at that, I love it. Let's go a little bit further. Perfect. Okay, what else do you see? What else? That's pretty darn good. I'm gonna fix a few things. I see some things that need fixing. I need some orange. So I'm gonna clean this off. I need a little bit of orange in some areas. So I'm gonna grab some cadmium yellow light and some red. I'm gonna bring in just a little bit of orange in here. That's probably too bright, too dark. Let's go with a little bit of a brighter color. Bring that, that's better. Like that. Off the side. Little bit of yellow in there. Okay. I'm getting close to being done. Let's clean that off one last time, and let's get that last bit of white that we want to get in here. I'm going to go down to a smaller paintbrush, super small paintbrush, and I'm just going to go in the white. I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. And there's some areas that I want to be super, super white. That's a part right there. A few of these little areas in here I want to be super, super white. A little bit more in there. This line right there, super white. Even back here, we've got a little bit of white. All right, let's go down a little bit more. There's some white all in here. Just keep it kind of messy. A little bit of white in there. Light, light colors. We're going with the lightest of the lights right now. There is a whole line of white coming down right here from the reflection. A little bit in here, just a little bit. All right, let's keep on going. We've got a little bit more we could add right around here. Just a little bit. We're more on this side. We want that light, light color. A little bit more right here. We can even go with a little bit of the ultramarine blue and mix it in the white. Because right here, I feel like there's a little bit of blue coming out. That's actually more of a phthalo blue and white. So I'm going to try that. Phthalo blue. Phthalo blue is your, almost like your turquoise blue. Super, super bright. Yeah, that looks good. You can see those little lines. Sometimes you have to squint to see what I'm seeing. So I'm coming back with this phthalo blue and white. And we're going to add a little bit more in there with that phthalo blue. And you see that pretty, that's a new color that's coming through. That's actually gorgeous. So I'm just going to touch on that phthalo blue and white, and I'm bringing that out. See that, how pretty? A little bit more in here. Just a little bit more in a few other areas, maybe down here to balance it all out. Just a little bit. Balance all of that. And I think we're done. I think we have done it. What do y'all think? It's not as hard as it looks like it is. You just have to give yourself some patience to get it done. One other thing that I think I could do is I could bring in a little bit of a dark inside the center over here. I could go more black, and I'll do it and just let you see. I'm just going to do it a little bit. If I bring in a few of those darker shades, watch how that orange really starts popping. See that dark that I just brought in there? See how it's waking up some of those areas? You can see this maybe a little bit darker. Get that in there. Go a little bit further this way. And then maybe a little bit down here. And there we go. We have got our decanter, our still life decanter. Oops, don't want that right there. All right, my friends, look at that, how pretty. Yay, I am back. So that was our fun. I think it was about 50 minutes. Okay, so I only spent 50 minutes on this painting. I already see some things that I know that I need to fix. One of the things, I don't know if y'all can see it right now, but this gold area is too high. That is supposed to be the level of bourbon in the decanter. I know this is being like really technical, but the bourbon should not be that high up. So this should be more of a grayish blue, something like that, so that that line of bourbon right here stops and doesn't keep on going up. So see, it's little things like that. You have to give yourself some time if you really want your painting to be, you know, the painting. Something else that I saw, the top looks a little crooked. I need to like fix some lines in here. And what I do when I paint, the video that I create for y'all is the basics, the base of the painting. Then, and you see that here's something else right here at the bottom. I should have a strong black line right here to give that contrast, to give that base something to sit on. And I did not come back and put that strong black line there. So you see those kind of things I didn't see the first time I painted it. But after I sit there for a while and I study it and I look at it, I start seeing some things. Every time I look at it, it's like, okay, let me fix this little tweak. Let me make this little tweak here and there. So yeah, a painting can, if you really want it to be something that you're really proud of, you spend some time, you study it, you take a picture of it with your phone, you look at it in your phone. It's amazing what a phone can do when you take a photo of it and you look at it in the photo. I do a lot of that when I'm painting because I'm filming and I have a camera up here and I have the camera, I can see in my screen. I can see it in my screen. And it's amazing what my eyes to the painting shows me, then my eyes to the screen, what that shows me when I'm looking straight down on it. So yeah, have fun with it. It's supposed to be challenging. I love to teach challenging paintings, as you all know. That is one of the things that I've always loved to do. I was playing. This is totally off subject, but I was playing I have an iPad at night. Y'all know, y'all probably do this too. Do you play games at night on your iPad? I'm playing like some kind of farm game. And it's gotten so boring for me. I'm like, I need to find something that's more challenging, because all I'm doing is planting crops, picking the crops, you know, selling my items. I need something that challenges my brain to keep my brain going. I really strive to do things like that. So when I see a painting that I think is going to be challenging, those are the ones I like to paint. And I hope that you like the same thing too, because to me, that keeps your mind fresh. That keeps your mind going when you give yourself those challenges. Yes, sometimes I do take a brain break, like I told you. I put in the comments, I have a paint by number that I bought. It's like a 24 by 36 paint by number. It's going to take me months to do it, because when I want to break and I don't have anything to do, I go grab that paint by number and I just look at paint number 25 and I go fill in the little circles with paint number 25. And there's no thinking involved. And sometimes you need that. It's what I call a brain break. So yeah, those are just some ideas that I like to throw out there to you. For those of you who are non-members, once a month, and for members too, you'll want to know this as well. Once a month, I'm going to be coming on and I'm going to be teaching a lesson. You're only going to have access to it for 1 week if you are a non-member. If you are a member, everything's going to be dropped inside the membership, the VIP Den membership. I want to show you what we're doing this month in our VIP Den membership. This is our schedule. We've already done the tangerines, and we also have a mini den. Okay, so we painted the tangerines in the mini den as well. On January 13th and 14th, we are going to be painting books and blooms. And it's either going to be, I haven't decided yet, it's either going to be something similar to this right here. Maybe not we might change the flowers. I'm not sure if I want to paint those flowers, or we're going to be painting this one right here, and not as dark. This is a really dark one. I have not decided which one. I might kind of put these two together and make a new design. Not sure exactly. So that's what we're going to be painting on January 13th and 14th in our membership. On January 20th and 21st, we are going to be painting some clay pots. Okay, the background is not going to be that busy, but look at the lighting on these pots and look at the shading on the shadows that's created here. It's going to be so much fun. I'm super excited about that one. And then on January 27th, it is a surprise. I have started working on the surprise, and I'm just going to give you a sneak peek. This is not my painting. This is someone else's painting, but this is one of my inspirations for the painting. It is a vintage bathroom. I love vintage paintings, and so we may do something similar to that for our surprise. I have not decided exactly what the design is going to look like, but that is an inspiration excuse me, that I'm having for our surprise in January. If you are interested in joining right now, you can join the mini den. Now, what the mini den is, you only paint the first painting with us per month. So when you saw that schedule, whatever is on the schedule, the first painting for the month, you saw this in January, it was the tangerines. So you get access to that painting every month. And you have 24, the last 2 years of monthly paintings. You have access to all of those. You also have access to my Acrylic 101 10-day challenge that I had last year. That was a huge success. Teaches you everything about acrylic painting, from composition to values to shading to color theory to paint brushes, to different types of paints and mediums and all of that kind of stuff. You have access to that as well. The mini den is open all the time. You can get in the mini den now for $20 a month. And if you decide, hey, you know what? I like the mini den. It's fun, but I want more. Then you can transfer over to the den at any time. Okay. So your ticket into the den is the mini den, basically. All right. The den, the VIP, I call it the den, the VIP den will be opening again in February. The exact date I have not decided yet, but we are celebrating our 5-year anniversary in February. We've been doing this for 5 years. So we have 5 years of weekly content in the online classroom for the VIP group. That's a long time, and that's a lot of stuff. It's almost 400 paintings plus bonus videos like the still life lesson that we just did, the acrylic 101 bonuses, the pop-up paint parties. Any pop-up paint party that I've ever done is in the online classroom. There's so much stuff in there. You will never run out of stuff. We will be opening again in February if you are interested to join the den. But until then, if you want to join us, you can join the mini den, which I think did I put the link? Yes, I did. Yes, the mini den is open now. It's only $20 a month. Again, you get access to the last 24 monthly paintings and the acrylic 101 class. And when I used to do the In the Den with Jen tutorials, it's like 40 extra bonus tutorials that I just threw in there. So you have like about 65 tutorials plus some bonus lessons like technique lessons and acrylic 101 crash course lessons as well. And that's the mini den, which is $20 a month. So first anniversary in February. Yay. So yes. We have a lot. You're doing a diamond dot art instead. Yeah. Yay. Good. Yeah, in the bathroom, doesn't it look fun? I'm so excited. A VIP member almost a year. My paintings have come so far. Yes, I'm so glad, Miss John. Thank you, Miss Jean, for sharing that. That is great information to know. Yes, so we started in 2020. 2020, it is 2025 now. Yeah, okay, 5 years. The other day, I think I told somebody it was 6 years. I was like, wait, I think I'm off. I forgot how old I was. So anyway, do you automatically roll over or do you have to sign up again? No, you do not have to sign up again, Miss Donna. It is an automatic rollover. It is an automatic rollover. And if you have any questions about anything, send us an email at support@jensdenart. I'm trying to type it in. Send us an email at support@jensdenart.com, and we will be happy to answer any of your questions. My DMs, my direct messages, sometimes they get lost in the shuffle because I get so many of them. And so the easiest and most definite streamlined way for us to answer questions is to email support@jensdenart.com, and we will be happy to help you with whatever you have questions on. I am so excited that y'all all came on here today and spent some time with me. And I can't wait to do it again. We're going to do this again next month in February. We've got a lot of fun things coming in February. Look for that. We've got our focus in February is flowers, is florals. So I'm working on some really fun. I'm going to show you one that I did. This is like really rough sketch, just to let you know, super rough sketch. We're going to be doing some irises, Louisiana irises, and all kind of fun things for February. I've been working on that, and I've been having a lot of fun with that. So we will see you all again soon. Love you all. God bless you, and I hope you have a great weekend. All right. Thank y'all so much for being here. Bye-bye.